We're back with another video on stats today. I thought I'd start off with pitcher stats. I did a defensive stats video last. Today's video, I think I'm going to do a pitcher one, which will be fun. You see some of the better performing pitchers this season at the top of the list here. I have a stat filter here that shows a lot of the important stats for pitchers. So let's dig right into it. So I think I have a minimum of 20 innings pitched, so not a ton, not a big minimum. I think the 1.1 inning or 1 inning pitch per team game is a little bit too high. It cuts off a little too many guys, in my opinion. So I'm just trying to pretty much sort everybody that's pitched in the majors at all this season, even add relievers into here, some of these stats. So we'll kind of go through it. So if you look at the start here, we'll start at innings pitched here. So if you look at innings pitched, we already have Tomas here at over 100 innings. He's on pace for 248 innings. The dude has been a workhorse with 80 stamina. Three-pitch guy in Miami. The really high stuff and control. The guy's just been a menace, on pace for Cy Young type season. He is killing it there in the NL. Big reason Miami is at 500, even with a real small payroll. Really doing well. 3.07 FIP. If you look here, guys are only hitting 223 off him, 270 on base percentage against him, and the guys are only slugging 329 off him, which, if you look at all of these guys, it's pretty much the lowest guy in this entire category if you rank them by innings pitched. So phenomenal season so far. Even with the low movement, he kind of gets away with it in Miami, and guys don't hit the ball super hard off him, even with the low movement rating. So pretty fantastic season there. Next best, if you sort by innings pitched, we have Ron Brumley. He's on pace for yet another season. He is going to actually have 5 straight seasons over 219 or over 206 innings if he stays healthy for the most part of this rest of the season. The dude is just incredible. A pure old-fashioned workhorse. The stats are phenomenal. Not quite as elite as the Tomas guy, but not far off. He averages about the same hits per 9. Strikeout rate's a little lower. The walk rate's been a bit higher, but still really good ratios, just not like elite league leading this year. And the home runs per 9's at 1, and he has a 1.1 FIP. Guys actually have a little bit lower BABIP off him than Tomas. The guys are only slugging 371 off him, which is still fantastic. Most of these guys on this list are in the 400s. Still really good numbers. Guys are only hitting 222 off him, which is pretty consistent at the top here. Batting average against until you get down to Martin here at 278. You got a lot of 230s and below here for the top 5 guys, which is pretty fantastic. If you look here, you got Quintero here coming out number 3. Pretty ridiculous ratings here. Love to see his stats here. 1.1 WHIP. The FIP's at 3.9. The hits against are right about the same. So a lot of these categories are kind of the same for these top 3 guys. Pretty similar type seasons. All been absolutely fantastic. Just a lot more innings out of Tomas here, and a little bit less home runs, which makes his stats a little better. First guy that's kind of young guy here that jumps off the page is Ezra here. Ezra was the 7th overall pick of the draft, and he had a pretty good season last year. He's on pace for an even better season this year. The main difference, if you look at it, really similar ratios, almost the exact same walk and strikeout rates. The hits are way down, and also the hit by pitches are quite a bit down percentage-wise. The main difference, too, is the slugging percentage. It was 424 last year, and guys are only slugging 330, so it's keeping the ball in the infield a lot better, even though he's striking out and walking about the same amount of guys. You had Tony Diaz here having a phenomenal season for the first place Phillies in the NL. Guys are slugging a little bit higher off him, but that's a lot to do with the ballpark. The ratios are real good. 7% walk, 27% strikeout. Pretty nasty season out of him. Martin here, just a pure innings eater. Guys just got season after season after season over 210 innings. Incredible run he's on as a durable guy. Just an amazing innings eater. And he's on pace for not quite the seasons he's had in the past. The FIP's real high, but we should be able to calm down the second half there a little bit. That San Francisco team, I'd imagine, will play a little better in the second half of the season. Michael Connor has real good movement, which really helps him in that stadium. The walk and strikeout numbers aren't amazing. The walk numbers pretty good, actually. The hits are a little bit high. He's on pace for log a bunch of innings also. If you sort by some different categories here, like the batting average against, it's pretty insane once you filter out those position players. I don't know why they'd be on this list. Do they actually pitch 30 innings? That doesn't make sense. 20 innings. Innings pitched 25. So I don't know why they're showing up here, but it doesn't matter. This has got to be some glitch or something. So the top guys, Darwinian Hernandez is ridiculous. Guys are hitting 150 off of him. They get on base quite a bit by the walk, but the walks don't kill him too much because he just strikes out and doesn't really give up any home runs at all. So he's still on pace for a real positive season there, which is hilarious. You got a couple guys here with like 30 inning ratios. Tampa has this reliever here, pretty crazy stats too, only 4.6 hits per nine. All these guys you'll notice here, obviously, since we're sorting by batting average, you see the hits per nine are so low. League average is about over 7, so all these guys are at like 5 and 4. The guy for the Dodgers here, top prospect, is having just an unbelievable season. He actually leads the league in strikeout rate, and no one's even close. So this is sorted, remember, by at least 20 innings. He's striking out 53% of players. No one else is above 38. That's just in a league of its own. It's just not even comparable. Guy is just unbelievable. Look at the BABIP too. So when they do hit off him, he's also actually still having bad luck. 383 enemy BABIP. No one else in this list is anywhere close to that. So it's just ridiculously weird stats out of him this season. The strikeout rate is just unbelievable. The ratio from strikeout to walk is almost 5-1. 53% to 13 is just incredible. I would love to see no 80 cap. I would actually might make that a vote if that's possible, if you guys agree with me. I would love to see if that's like 95, 100 stuff. It's just, as a reliever, it probably would be. It's 80 as a starter, so I just can't imagine how high that stuff is. What an incredible talent. The numbers are just hilarious on him this season. If you look down here, you get some other big strikeout guys. Josh Hader here. Jake Geloff, who's actually a third baseman in a lot of my leagues, if that's the same guy I'm thinking of. Down here, if you sort by FIP, yeah, so you got 1.82 out of Hong here. Blake Snell is actually having a real good season statistically. That was a nice, really nice big lefty pickup there for St. Louis. That's an interesting acquisition. I love it. Dan Furrow here having a big season. Guys has a 2.7 FIP, 2.7 ERA. Pretty consistent there. Pretty amazing. We'll actually sort by the rookies now and see who's having the best rookie seasons. You sort by WAR and innings pitched. You had Josh Lewis here. Josh Lewis is on pace for a real nice season. Guys are hitting pretty high off him. 10 hits per nine is very high. And the home runs are pretty high, but the numbers are pretty good. 20% strikeout, 4% walk. So that's interesting with how high those stats are. The fact that he's still on pace for 3 WAR. I guess he's on pace to log a lot of innings with a 4.4 FIP, which is about league average, but seems like that WAR is a little bit high. I'm curious about that. Not a great season, but pretty solid. The guy looks like he's going to be a real good player for a lot of years. And then you have Tony here in Detroit. Tony's having quite a bit better season statistically. The ERA is a little bit high, but the FIP's really low. He has had 320 BABIP against, which kind of meh. Real good strikeout numbers out of him. And the home runs are pretty good. 1.0 is pretty solid. The walks are just a tad high, but the strikeouts, real good there. 27% of the starters, phenomenal. So huge innings eater out of him too. Almost a 200 inning pace out of the top prospect here. So real good curveball slider combination. A ton of horizontal movement out of him as a side armor. So interesting profile here. Next up, we have a lot of innings out of this Yankees guy. Not having a great year. A little bit of a weaker year out of the Yankees here. He's getting lit up a little bit with the home runs. 2.3 per 9 is very high. Next up, you have Chris Brown log a lot of innings in San Diego. Chris Brown is getting hit pretty hard. He's got a 435 slugging percentage against. The home runs per 9 are pretty high. The walks and strikeouts are about average, but he's ton of statistical profile out of that. This should have a really bright future. Really good 4-pitch guy. So just got to settle down there a little bit. If we sort by WAR, we can actually see. We talked about those two guys in Lewis. My guy Reinhardt is actually having a phenomenal season. Reinhardt's probably actually been the most statistically probably been the best. Next, obviously the Dodgers closer or the Dodgers reliever, but Reinhardt's just been phenomenal. One of the best rookies out there. The hits are pretty high at 8, not insanely high, but a bit high. But the walk rate is so good. The home run rate's really low. 0.4 is incredible home run rate in Baltimore there. The strikeout rate's 16, 17%. The guy has not any really highly rated pitches, but he does have 4 pitches right around league average. 2 guys' pitches there are pretty low, but they're still usable once in a blue moon. But yeah, he's doing pretty well there. Guys are only getting on base 29% of the time against him. Guys are hitting 230 off him. The FIP is so low. The ERA is even lower at 2.9. Just been on a string here of real good starts for me too. I tried to save his rookie eligibility and be a bit cheap getting a 7th-year arbitration, so I held him up in the minors about a month, and once I called him up in May here. He just every single start's been solid, pretty much except for the one. 6 innings, 3 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 innings, 0 runs, 5 innings, 1 run. It's just incredible all across the board, as you can see here. I won't keep calling him out. Never had more than 5 strikeouts. So just an old-fashioned throwback 80s, 90s pitcher who didn't have a ton of strikeouts. Doesn't throw crazy movement fastball and strikeout stuff, but just keeps the ball on the ground. Nice splitter, nice forkball, slider, all stuff that kind of heads towards the plate, the ground there, and just keeps the ball in the ballpark. So just been real reliable for me and my best pitcher so far, which is cool. If you look at the other stuff here, we're on rookies here. We're going to look at strikeout rate for the reliever. So obviously the top guy that we talked about for the Dodgers. You have a real nice season of this rookie reliever, Jerry Gonzalez. Guy's enemy BAPIP's 197 off him, which is pretty fantastic. Joey Barnes here, big strikeout guy, logged a lot of innings, striking out a ton of guys, just not great WAR so far. The home runs are a bit high. You got Jose Perez here, 22-year-old with real nice ratings in Boston, having one of the best seasons of the rookie relievers here, almost 30% strikeout rate, keeping the ball in the park, and what stands out about him is the control at 3.8% walk rate. It's just phenomenal. Real good season out of him. J.R. Havel, logging a bunch of innings in San Diego there, kind of struggling a little bit with the movement ratings being a bit low. John Bird here, rookie reliever, logged almost 40 innings here for a real good Colorado team. Hasn't been great, getting lit up with the home runs here a little bit, but ratings-wise, he's pretty solid. Once he kind of gets older and kind of gets that home run rate under control, he should be a pretty solid middle reliever there. And then Mike Austin here, logging quite a bit of innings in Houston, another reliever here. Nothing really crazy stand out about any of these guys. So if you jump back to all players, we will go to qualified now. And yeah, you'd probably have to say the Cy Young race right now. Tomas has a pretty good lead in the NL here. A lot of these guys are AL guys. That's number 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. So you get 2 to 7 here, all AL guys. You got, your city is too. I thought that was the Seattle one. Steve Anderson. So you really don't have any competition right now in the top 10 of WAR ratings. No one else over 2 WAR, and he's at 3 already. So Givo here is just kind of running away with this, but it's still so early. I'm sure lots of these guys can really turn it on down here, like Tony Diaz. And some of these guys at the bottom here that are real good players. But it's crazy how heavy AL balance this award is right now. Sorry, this ratings list at the top here if you sort by WAR. Reese Ladd having a killer season in Arizona. Ton of talent out there in the desert. The guy has awesome home run numbers against. Strikeout rate's super high. Real good season out of him. Keith Tate, killing it there in Cleveland. The young guy is a real nice third-round pick there. 80 fastball, whiffing all day. 23% strikeout rate almost. 22. The home runs against are real good. Real good season out of him. Riley Stanford, an amazing season so far out of him. He's right up there. Guy is really limiting home runs and striking out a ton of guys too, and the walk rate's pretty decent. So real nice numbers out of him. And then Tim Benny here, awesome season. Real good defense behind him with an 80 shortstop. He's doing real nice as a lefty there. The home run numbers are real nice out of him too. Under 1/9 is real nice. And then Willie Weiss here in Boston having a killer year. I think he's in a contract year. Yeah, he's expiring here, so he might have a huge demand in free agency here. Monster season here, limiting the home runs. The walks are really good. The strikeouts are kind of low, and the hits are a little bit high. But since he's limiting home runs so much, the numbers are real good overall. And then you get the beast here in KC, Brad Quintero, one of my favorite players in the league. Guys had a 3.0 ERA, 3.0 FIP. The BAPIP is real low. The strikeout rate is just ridiculously high out of a starter. Home runs are low. So this guy is going to be right in the running for the Cy Young there too. So real interesting battle in the AL for the Cy Young to keep an eye on. I'll end this episode here. We talked about a lot of the pitchers already, and I was thinking about doing the hitters in the same episode, but we'll leave that for a later date. So kind of the mid-season update for the awards race here and some stuff to keep an eye on coming down the stretch. Cheers.